everyone. Welcome to another episode of A Hymn for Him. I'm your host, King Worship, and I am so excited that you're with me this evening on our 8th episode. Thanks be to God for what He has done. Now, I know I keep saying every week that I'm going live, and unfortunately, I was unable to go live again this Sunday because I gotta hand it to you. The summer is ending. That good weather that we're having, everyone is taking advantage of it. So I had to pre-record this episode again because I had another engagement that, my family was invited to. So I was unable to go live again. So the summer is wrapping up and we're taking advantage of the heat and the sun before the winter kicks in. So now that you know, I would let you know when I'm going live again, okay? Because we have to utilize all the heat and the good weather that we are having. So that was a friend of mine with our first hymn, Standing on the Promises. I love this hymn because I grew up in a New Testament church, home church. That's my home church, New Testament Church of God. And Standing on the Promises is one of those hymns that are constantly sung in our services. And so this is a hymn that I love. Standing on the Promises was written by Russell Kelso Carter in 1886. Russell was born in Baltimore, Maryland in 1849, and he passed in 1928. Russell was a school teacher, and later on he became a professor of science, math, chemistry, and civil engineering. He spent his last years as a medical doctor. Russell was an ordained minister. He was an ordained Methodist minister also in his lifetime. Not only that, Russell was a budding songwriter and musician, and he has written songs that we know. He has written music for Oh Perfect Love and Beulah Land. These are songs that we know. The story behind this hymn, Standing on the Promises, says that at the age of 30, Russell became ill, critically ill, with a heart condition. Physicians did not understand and they did not know what to do. And so they couldn't help in the end. The only thing that he was left with is healing. He prayed and he made a promise to God that if he heals his heart, for the rest of his life, he will consecrate and give his life and service to him. And guess what? For the next several months, his strength returned and his heart was totally healed by God. Yes, he stood on the promises of healing from God and he received that healing that he needed. He was totally healed and he lived another 49 healthy years. This hymn was written from that experience that he had. Our second hymn tonight is presented by a pastor, a friend, a lady that is known to be a fire stick for God, Pastor Ophelia Little. And she will be presenting tonight, My Faith Has Found a Resting Place. Now this hymn, most of you would know this hymn by the words, I need no other argument. This hymn was written by Elizabeth Edmonds Hewitt, and she was born in Philadelphia in USA on June 28th, 1851, and she passed in 1920. Elizabeth was a public school teacher. The story behind this hymn says that she was struck by one of her students in public school with a heavy slate which damaged her spine. And from then, she suffered with a spinal malady that forced her to retire early from her teaching career. This illness caused her to be shut away in her home, and she was always weak and unable to do certain things. And so, because she was shut in, she developed a passion for literature and writing poetry. This hymn, I Need No Other Argument, was a poem that she wrote while being shut away after this injury. Over the next several years, she realized that she definitely had to, continue doing what she loves. And she dedicated her life to teaching Sunday school at her local assembly, and to which she became the superintendent. And this further pushed her to continue writing her poems and even writing hymns. From such a tragic experience, this hymn was birthed. Welcome Pastor Ophelia Little as she presents this hymn to you. So much, Ophelia, and thank you, my sister, for blessing us with our first hymn and our second hymn. I hope that you have learned something today. This is one of the aim to reintroduce the hymns of old and just give you a back history or story of how these hymns came about. I hope you are blessed today. I am your host, King Worship, letting you know that we are to worship the King in spirit and in truth. I do hope that I'm able to go live in the next coming week, but please understand that the summer is definitely coming to an end and our weekends will be getting busy. So if I do not go live, I'll let you know when we'll be going live. Thank you so much again for joining with me. God bless you. I want to do our shout out before I go. Yes, I'm going to shout out Kevar Telfer. Thank you for your like and subscribe, and he's always there looking at the episodes. Also, I want to shout out Aisha. Hey girl, I want to shout you out, and everyone who has been tuning in every week to A Hymn for Him. God bless you. Always worship the King in spirit and in truth.